So I just saw Blade Runner 2049.
Every civilization
I kinda loved it.
was built off the back of a disposable workforce.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I really didn't expect it to be good. These legendary franchises taking a beating lately. I mean, you've either got a sterile, uninspired remake, or just a plain cinematic abortion. But I enjoyed this movie. So number one, it's absolutely gorgeous. You're not supposed to show driving from point to point. In some movies, it's not great. How he was barely moving. But in this, it's even that is gorgeous. The visuals and the sets are distinctive and memorable. I mean, a huge part of the enjoyment of the movie is just getting to look at this stuff. You don't get to say that a lot nowadays. The action is integrated into the plot, it's not overdone. The performances are pretty excellent all the way around. Even the supporting cast does a really good job. And the director or the writer, whoever, threw in a perfect little thematic turn with the book. Ryan Gosling's character, Kay, finds a book. It happens to be Nabokov's Pale Fire. The title of the book is actually a reference to Shakespeare. The quote says, "The moon's an errant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun." In Pale Fire, Nabokov creates a poet, and then writes a poem that poet supposedly wrote. And then the rest of the book, so the first part of the book is the poem, and the second part of the book is a critic talking about the poem. So, as you saw in the quote, it's talking about how the moon snatches its pale fire from the sun. That's what the critic is trying to do. It's trying to vicariously accomplish something by virtue of, through the poet. But it's a pale representation of what the poet actually accomplishes. So that in the movie, you can see thematically, you have the replicants, they're trying to approximate being human. So it perfectly fits thematically. And I just think it was a nice little touch. I do wish that the antagonists had been fleshed out a little more, so we got to see more of their character. And one of the things I loved about the original was that Deckard was actually the antagonist. It was the replicant who was actually the protagonist of the movie. And that's kind of undone by this film. But whatever the case, it didn't feel overly long. It was well put together, and I feel like we really need to support when a director and a writer actually go in and try to make something incredible. So hopefully this movie is going to do very well in the box office. This is why we can't have nice things. So I hate it when the end cards cover up the video. So I just added this.